Welcome back to Philosophy Unpacked. Today, we're diving into a really powerful and symbolic chapter from Nietzsche's Thus Spoke Zarathustra called The Wanderer.
That sounds fantastic. Zarathustra's journey is always so rich with meaning. What's the physical and emotional setting for this particular section?
The chapter opens with Zarathustra climbing a mountain in the middle of the night. He's on his way to a port to catch a ship and leave the Happy Isles.
So he's literally on a journey, moving from one place to another. I imagine this physical climb gets him thinking about his life's journey as well.
Exactly. As he's climbing, he reflects on his entire life, which he sees as a series of solitary wanderings and climbing many mountains, ridges, and summits.
He really embraces this identity, doesn't he? He says something like he's a wanderer and a mountain climber by nature, which seems central to his philosophy.
He does. He tells himself, "I love not the plains, and it seemeth I cannot long sit still." This isn't just about hiking, it's a deep metaphor for his existence.
So the plains would represent a life of ease, comfort, and stagnation, which he completely rejects in favor of constant struggle and striving upwards.
That's the perfect way to put it. The mountain is the challenge, the difficult path of self-improvement and discovery. The plain is the easy life he believes leads to weakness.
It's a powerful image for anyone feeling stuck. The message is to seek out your own mountain to climb rather than settling for the flat, easy ground.
Precisely. And he takes this idea even further, suggesting that everything that happens to him, fate, experience, even accidents, is just part of this journey of climbing.
So in his view, there are no real accidents. Everything that happens is just another step on the path, another part of the mountain he has to navigate?
Yes, and he says that in the end, one experienceth only oneself. All these external events are just mirrors, reflecting different parts of his own self back at him.
That's a profound thought. It's like his own self, which was scattered among different events and things, is finally coming back home to him, becoming whole.
It's a journey of integration. He feels he's past the point where random things can just befall him because he now sees everything as part of his own story.
So as he's climbing this physical mountain, he feels he is also approaching a final, ultimate peak in his own spiritual or philosophical journey.
He is. He says, "I stand now before my last summit." And this isn't an easy final step. He calls it his hardest path and his lonesomest wandering.
Why the lonesomest? Is it because the path to true greatness is one you ultimately have to walk completely alone without anyone else's guidance?
That's the core of it. He believes this is an hour that someone of his nature cannot avoid, the moment where you truly walk the path to your own greatness.
And he says something very striking here. Summit and abyss, these are now comprised together. What does he mean by bringing those two opposites together?
It means that at the peak of greatness, you are also closest to the greatest danger. The highest achievement and the biggest risk become one.
So the path to greatness is also your last refuge. What was previously your greatest danger? It sounds like you have to embrace the risk fully.
You have to. And a key part of this is that there's no turning back. Your courage comes from the fact that there is no longer any path behind thee.
He literally says your own foot has erased the path, and over it is written impossibility. That's a powerful commitment, burning your bridges completely.
It's the ultimate point of no return. You can't rely on old methods or retreat to old comforts. You have to keep moving forward into the unknown.
This leads to another incredible metaphor. What does he mean when he says, if all ladders fail, you must learn to mount upon thine own head?
It means you have to learn to overcome yourself. If all external supports are gone, you must use your own being as the next step to climb higher.
So it's about transcending your own thoughts, your own ego, and even your own heart. You have to climb beyond your current self to reach the next level.
Exactly. He says, now must the gentlest in thee become the hardest. You must develop a new kind of strength and discipline, moving beyond your softer inclinations.
This connects to his criticism of indulgence, right? He says something like he doesn't praise the land where butter and honey flow, which sounds like another jab at an easy life.
Yes, he praises what maketh hardy. Constant self-indulgence, he argues, eventually makes a person sick. True growth comes from toughness and overcoming hardship.
And part of that hardness is learning to look away from oneself in order to see many other things. That seems a bit counterintuitive for a journey of self-discovery.
It's a paradox, but a crucial one. He's saying if you are too focused on your own navel-gazing, you only see the foreground, the immediate details of yourself.
Ah, so to truly understand the ground of everything, the bigger picture, you have to get some distance and perspective, even from yourself.
Precisely. The ultimate summit for him isn't just reaching a high place, but being able to look down upon myself and even upon my stars.
Looking down on his own stars, that implies achieving a perspective that is higher than his own destiny or his highest ideals. That's a radical idea.
It is the ultimate self-overcoming. So with these harsh thoughts, he reaches the top of the mountain ridge and a whole new landscape appears before him.
And what does he see? After all this talk of climbing and summits, what's waiting for him at the top?
He sees the other seas spread out before him, and he stands there, silent, in the cold, clear, starry night. It's a moment of profound realization.
He seems to accept his fate here, but sadly, he says his last loneliness has begun. And then he says he must go down to the sea.
This is the big twist. After all this climbing, his destiny is not to remain on the summit, but to descend into the dark, sad sea below him.
Why? Why must he go down? It feels like all his upward effort was for nothing if he just has to descend into darkness and pain.
Because, as he says, he must first go deeper down than I ever ascended. He realizes that to achieve the truly highest height, one must first explore the absolute deepest depth.
He connects this to geology, right? He remembers learning that the highest mountains actually come out of the deepest sea. The depth is the source of the height.
That's the key insight. The potential for the greatest height is born from the greatest depth, so his descent into pain is not a failure, but a necessary preparation for his final ascent.
So he accepts his fate and heads down the mountain. What happens when he finally reaches the sea and stands alone among the cliffs?
He finds himself weary, but also eagerier than ever before. He observes the sea, which seems to be sleeping, breathing warmly and dreaming fitfully.
And the sea's dreams aren't pleasant. He hears it groaning with evil recollections or evil expectations. It seems to be in pain.
Yes, and Zarathustra feels a kinship with it. He says, "Ah, I am sad along with thee, thou dusky monster." He feels its pain and wishes he could help.
He wishes he had the strength to free the sea from its bad dreams. This shows a very compassionate side to him, even towards a non-human monster.
It does, but then he immediately laughs at himself with bitterness. He mocks himself, asking, "What, Zarathustra, wilt thou even sing consolation to the sea?"
Why does he mock this compassionate impulse? It seems like a very human and noble thing to do, to offer comfort.
He sees it as his great folly. He calls himself an amiable fool who has always approached terrible things with a desire to love and caress them.
So he believes this tendency to love anything just because it's alive is actually a weakness for him, a danger.
He calls it the danger of the lonesomest one. This deep-seated need to connect and show love conflicts with his mission of hardness and self-overcoming.
That's a fascinating internal conflict. He's trying to become this hard, self-sufficient being, but his own loving nature keeps getting in the way.
It's a profound struggle. He laughs at what he calls his modesty in love, but this laughter is not joyful. It's full of melancholy.
And the chapter ends on an even more emotional note, doesn't it? After laughing at himself, his thoughts turn to something else.
Yes, he thinks of the friends he has abandoned on his journey. He feels a pang of guilt, as if just thinking about them was a betrayal.
And this thought is what finally breaks him. The text says, "The laugher wept. With anger and longing wept Zarathustra bitterly."
It's a heartbreaking and very human ending. For all his talk of hardness and overcoming, his loneliness and his love for his friends overwhelm him.
So, the lonesomest wanderer, after reaching his summit and facing the abyss, is ultimately brought to tears by memory, guilt, and the pain of separation.
Exactly. It shows that the path to becoming the Übermensch or Overman is not a simple linear ascent. It's filled with immense psychological pain and internal conflict.
This chapter really illustrates that the journey isn't just about strength and willpower, but also about confronting the deepest, most painful parts of your own humanity.
That's the essence of the wanderer. The climb up the mountain is only half the journey. The descent into the sea of pain and emotion is just as crucial.
A truly powerful segment. It makes you think about what summits and seas exist in our own lives. Thanks for breaking that down for us.
My pleasure. It's a reminder that true growth requires us to embrace not just the heights of achievement, but also the depths of our own vulnerability and sorrow.